Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, Wingardium Leviosa. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. This is a Harry Potter-esque review, so it gave me an excuse to be stupid in my intro. Now, today we are talking about Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald, directed by David Yates, the man who brought us Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, a movie that I actually quite liked at the time. Upon rewatch, I didn't like it as much. I found it a little slow, and I don't like it as much as my favorite Harry Potter films. If you guys don't know, I love some of the Harry Potter movies, and I've never really disliked a Harry Potter film before, but when we got to Fantastic Beasts, I was excited to see where the first movie could go because there were a lot of things that I really liked, but also a lot of things I saw that they could improve on, so I was hoping the sequel would build on those elements and give me a movie that made it worth waiting on. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score, and I want to start out by saying this. Listen, I know there are a lot of really hardcore Harry Potter fans watching this review, and I'm going to say some negative stuff about this movie. I hope you guys don't take that to heart or offensively, and I'm sure there are going to be people that love this movie. I am not on that side necessarily, but I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Let's get into the good. So the second installment of the Fantastic Beasts series is set in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, and it features the adventures of Newt Scamander and friends, if you want to put it like that, but the Wizarding World thing is really what draws a lot of people into these films. And it really was the best part of this movie, seeing the things, first of all, the things in this film, and I'm not going to give away where we go and who we see. That is familiar, but you guys know Dumbledore is in the movie, mostly because he's in the trailer, and he is actually played very, very well by Jude Law. I really like Jude Law's Dumbledore. He sounds like him, he resembles him. I think he could end up looking like the Dumbledore that we know now. Perfect casting. You can't get any better than that. Now, a lot of people are going to say, and have said in some of the reviews that I have read so far, that Johnny Depp is a weak part of this movie. He bogs it down. He brings it to a low level. Look, I get it. If you don't like Johnny Depp, I understand that. But honestly, I didn't have a problem with his performance. I actually thought he was fine. Now, did he do anything fantastic? It's funny because it's in the title. Not necessarily, and he didn't have a lot of range, but I do think that's what Grindelwald is supposed to be. It's a guy without a lot of range. He's very stoic. He just kind of stands there and snarls, and Johnny Depp is actually pretty good at that. Now, I liked Colin Farrell a lot in the first movie, and would I probably have preferred him? Sure. But he wasn't the Grindelwald that we needed in this movie. That was Johnny Depp. I actually didn't have a problem with his performance. He was Johnny Depp-ish, but that was fine. It worked for the character. Newt, I'm so divided on Newt. I like certain elements of Newt, and then sometimes he's really, really annoying to me, and I get it, that's what they're going for, and he's a likable guy. Eddie Redmayne is a likable actor. Something about him, and it got worse in this movie. I don't know why. I'm not saying I dislike the character. I wish there was a little bit more to him. I thought Zoe Kravitz, Catherine Waterston, they were both good. Dan Fogler, my boy from the first movie, he was my favorite part of the first film. He had the heart, he had the soul, he had the laughs. While he didn't do as much in this movie to impress me, I still liked him. I have issues with his character and how they kind of explain some things, but I'll get into that in a bit. The cast in general, if you guys can't tell, it's my favorite part of the movie. That and the fact that they bring out all of these Wizarding World things, I like those aspects and those elements. If they would have focused more on the characters that we cared about and less on these side stories and things that really just bogged the entire movie down and made me bored in the theater, then I think I would have liked this movie a lot more. And I will say lastly, there were moments in this film. Every good Harry Potter movie has one or two moments that are just jaw-dropping and fantastic. This one has a few moments that were really, really well done. It's just a shame that this is the first movie in the Wizarding World that I can't necessarily say that I liked. Okay, maybe that's too harsh. It's not that I didn't like it. I liked elements. It's just the movie as a whole. It comes together in this very cliched and pieced together thing. By the end of the film, you're just sitting there like, I was kind of confused during certain parts, and the parts that I weren't confused by, the dialogue was long and drawn out. this film is a bit boring. And you know how I know that it didn't just bore me? There was a guy in the theater 2 rows above me to the left. He was dead asleep. And I know that because he was snoring where most of the theater could hear it. By the way, Harry Potter fans, you're not showing out for the Fantastic Beasts movie. There were like 4 or 5 people in my movie theater. This is Thursday night Fantastic Beasts. Regardless of what we think of the film, we still have to support it. And there's nobody there. Movie started out okay. My biggest problem about the beginning of the film is that when we join or rejoin some of the characters that we know from the first one and then join our new characters, they just kind of come along, they're like, hi, here I am, let's skip over all of the things that you need to know about what happened. No, hold on just a second. You skip over so many things that happened in between the first movie and the second movie that I think is important for us as a viewer. No, they just get right into it and it's like, all right. And just very important plot points, they're just like, nope, that's fixed. We're good here. Jacob lost his memory in the first one. That was one of the main focuses of the end of the film, the emotional toil and turmoil. No, it's fine, he remembers now. There's a lot of retconning in this movie. Some things that happen in the first film and in Harry Potter films, they go against their own rules and they either take those back or they do new things that don't really make a lot of sense in the universe. And then some things are just not explained. And sure, if you pay really close attention to all of the little details going on, then you might be like, yeah, I think I know what's going on here. But when are they in the real world? When are they in the magic world? Why is this beast important? Why are you focusing on this part of the story? Just so many different things. It's like, man, can we just slow? No, you know what? Don't slow down because this movie is slow enough already. And usually I like when a film takes its time, but this one just takes its time and it's not focusing on the important points. Listen, I love the beasts. When the beasts come out, there needs to be more beasts. This Fantastic Beast, why you ain't got a lot of beasts? But sometimes they're not integral to the story and to the plot and they don't push everything forward and get us focused on what this journey actually is. They just go off on these little side trails and have these conversations that become meaningless by the end of the story. And I'm not even talking about the beasts. There are certain scenes with the beasts that go on a bit too long, but there are just scenes with dialogue between people and it doesn't matter. Then at the end of the film, when they do this really cool setup for a third film that could end up providing us a movie that I think would have been worth waiting on, in the back of my head I'm just sitting there, it took so long to get to this. Why couldn't we just focus on the important parts of the story? And that's what Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald fails to do. It fails to focus on the coolest aspects. Jude Law is not in this movie enough. They hit on Newt's brother, but they don't explore that storyline. There are things with Zoe Kravitz's character that I think would have been really interesting if fleshed out more, but they flesh out things that don't matter instead of the characters that are more important. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie, I'm not going to say what it is, but this guy enters the room and makes this really cool introduction. But then I started to think about it, I'm like, that guy had to be hiding behind that post the entire time, just standing there behind the pole like this. And then he walks out, makes this really cool entrance. I'm like, it's kind of awkward just thinking about how he was standing there the entire time in this contained room. So many elements that don't serve a purpose. They don't spend time on things that I think would further the plot. And they just jump into the climax and it happens just like that. All of the characters come together and it's like, oh, there's no build up or setup. Oh, we're here. We're here already. It's just 2 hours and 10 minutes into the movie. No, we jump into it, the climax happens, and boom, it's over. All of the build-up just to set up for Fantastic Beasts 3, a movie that better deliver more than this one did. I'm sorry guys, I was very disappointed in this film. I'm going to give Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald a 54%. A movie that had a lot of things going for it, just couldn't come together. It was a little boring, lasted way too long, and did not keep the right focus. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, I am sorry, Harry Potter fans. You can hate me all you want, but guess what? I'm a Harry Potter fan. I am allowed to be disappointed in the first Harry Potter movie, Wizarding World movie, that I have ever been really disappointed with. That is a crying shame. But you know what? They had a cool setup. I'm excited for the third movie. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tomorrow I have a jam-packed day. I'm talking at least 4 to 5 videos. I am literally starting at 4 a.m. and I am watching one TV show and multiple movies until 11 o'clock. That is a long day. I have a lot of videos to make tomorrow. Stick around to the channel. It's going to be fun. You guys are the absolute best. Comment your thoughts about Fantastic Beasts and like this review if you want more, and I'll catch you later.
You are listening to PopX Cast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Captain's log supplemental.
PopX Cast.